Bottom left-hand side, our blue Zerg player is Elazer here in this best-of-5 series in the ESL Open Cup Weekly Europe. Semi-final is in the top right, our red Terran from Team Liquid. This is Clem. No, the Open Cups aren't necessarily guaranteed. They were just something they announced for this year. I don't believe they were guaranteed for the future years, though. This was just a... it was just the Open Cups was part of this year, and then they actually, again, they buffed the prize pool of these cups because of other events being cancelled, so they put some more money into these weekly cups instead of all the money into the DreamHack Masters. So yeah, I actually don't know what the guarantee is. Because we never actually really got like a prize money breakdown for what happened in year 2 and year 3 of the EPT. We only know about game number 1. Anyways, we get set up, and that discussion can be tucked away for the moment as we go into this Terran versus Zerg. I actually think Elazer Clem can be a really good matchup. I think we see these guys taking a lot of good fights against each other a lot of the time. They play some good series. They play some very fun series. Excited to see what they can bring into this one as our SCV goes out down to the bottom side of the map. To move down, a little bit of creep setting up. A couple of queens, a few lings. Already on the way out for the moment. Couple of extra queens continuing through. And Clem's going to opt for a double gas opener here as the Reaper arrives. You have this Reaper showing up, and let's start to party with the Zerglings. But yeah, he's going to go double gas here. He obviously pulled out a couple of fun builds against Denver in the quarterfinals, which we watched about a half hour ago. Grenade goes down. Queen does take a bit of a bop there. Just moving this Reaper out over the left-hand side to see what's going on. Sees the third hatchery is coming into position, so taking that triangle for third. Starting on Oxide, absolutely the Terran player's map pick, so Clem probably feeling good about starting on this map. Definitely one he would expect to pick up in a series like this. Zergling speed is coming up toward completion. He's putting some damage out. That Reaper actually went a weird way. I thought it might have gone down there, but he just about sneaks it back to the right-hand side, so gets those out of there. With the grenade, and just going to bop those queens back already. So the couple of Hellions the Reaper get here, picking away at the hatch. Keeping a few Hellions out down the bottom side. Going to be seeing what's going to happen. It's going to be that Banshee opening again from Clem. Used this on an earlier map against Denver. It's just a little bit of Hellion Banshee to start us off here. You can see Elazer's playing a pretty safe setup. Baneling Nest and then a single Evo Chamber. Single Evo Chamber is kind of intriguing. Usually one Evo Chamber is against a Marine opener. You go Carapace early. Hellions back into the center. Banshee going to go all the way to the left and is going to be seen by Overlords. Cloak's about to finish up. Elazer didn't have any pre-warning about this, by the way. He has got a Spore here. It's not in the perfect position for Banshee, but it is good enough for the moment. It's actually good to stop the Banshee moving in, but generally you're going to want it to cover more of the mineral lines, so I may be missing an opportunity there, but he does deny the fourth base coming up as Elazer seems to want to expand to the left. couldn't expand down bottom with those Hellions there. It's going to be seeing our Hellions around the left, right-hand side. A couple of Banshees over to the left. It's going to be seeing the creep is pushing now. One thing that actually Clem hasn't done much about, because now we've got the creep coming out the bottom side. So the bottom side base fourth is getting set up now. Clem has got a third base. He's already about to have Stim, by the way. So his first push is going to be rallying out soon. As he gets the medevacs, he should be able to start putting a bit more pressure on via the ground. Because at the moment, just picking up again a couple drones, 3 drones so far. It's not a huge amount, but these Banshees are also still very healthy. And of course, it's in the hands of Clem, these Banshees can be extremely dangerous. So far so good from Elazer, but a long way to go yet. I'm still intrigued by this. Oh no, this is bad. The Spore was out of position in the natural, so Clem is going to find 9, 10 workers now, and that's what I mean. I mean, this wasn't really like incredible micro or anything. It was just Elazer playing it incorrectly, and those Banshees survive. 14 kills. Well, that's now 16 drones dead in total. And the Banshees will get away. Probably repair up and come back again. That's what Clem liked to do against Denver, so we'll see him looking to maintain the Banshee control on the map at least. Marines unloading, going to find an Overlord to begin with here. Well, that's not going to put Elazer anywhere near a supply block, but you can already see the supply difference opening up a little bit from those drone kills, so that's a bit of an issue right now. Hellions defending the third, but it feels as though Clem is pretty comfortable to move those across to join up with these Marines, and this attack's kind of scary, man. This is going to be 1-1 against no melee upgrades, so at least Carapace is done, but no melee upgrades. The Bane speed isn't ready yet either, and obviously Elazer's had to be rebuilding drones to make up for those Banshees getting so many kills. I'm very concerned right now. Going to see Lings are going to start running in. The Marines and the Hellions pull back. Turning around now. The Queens continue to take some damage. A few Bane's going to look to move through here soon. Hellions going to pick away at a few more of the Banelings. Marines still running back. I mean, there's enough Banelings in the end to turn this around, but that doesn't make it a good fight. Beautiful grenade. What? He just grenaded the Banelings back mid-fight to allow him to get rid of those Lings, and now he continues to surge step. That wasn't going to happen before, as Clem finally looks away for a moment too long, loses the Marines. Holy wow, what was that? That Reaper grenade on the Banelings was beautiful. That was actually a really sick little piece of micro addition in that game from Clem, or in this game from Clem. That was fantastic. Stim down, and a bunch of creep tumors are already dropping. So a lot of creep getting picked away at. Lings continuing up. Bane's arriving, and the medevacs will load and pull away over to the left-hand side instead. So going to set up over there as more of this Ling Bane wanting to try and figure out where it can get to. Marines moving around a little bit and maybe thinking about a jump in on this hatchery. Oh, Banshee is a little bit of a mistake there. We'll lose one of them as a couple of drones gets picked off. More Marine tank medevac in the upper left-hand side, and just going to be seeing the Banes and the Lings having to back away once more. Banshee comes through, and I'm just going to try and keep active on this side and deny creep. Big run by here from Elazer, and Clem is not really ready for it. So this is actually going to be finally Elazer getting some damage done at the expense of a 5th base. He finds 10 SCVs, and honestly still not enough bio here to properly shut this down. We're relying on the Widow Mines, which will only do so much. Now a tank goes down as well. This has been really good for Elazer, and even burrowing up. Problem is, that attack is great if you can then actually defend at home, which he's going to start trying to do now. Marine splitting, no splash damage in this army means that Elazer can get on top of it and really clean up. Elazer's got a lot of money to spend. The tanks were left alone at the back here. So unfortunately they go down, and Clem continues to lose splash damage and will continue to miss out on it. Elazer just has no lava to spend all of his money. One of the typical issues you see if you play Ling Bane and you're under a lot of pressure, miss a few injects, you lose a hatchery. And now Elazer can't spend the 1,000 in his bank. He drops Infestation Pit and the Hydra Den. And he'll start to make a step towards Hydras, and hence in the eventual kind of end game here, probably Lurkers as well. I mean, why not? You've got the money sitting there, you can't spend it. You may as well make the tech up instead and take that risk. I don't know if the amount of pressure Clem is applying really lets you tech up, but again, if you can't spend the money anywhere else, you may as well put it into something which would eventually help you out. So that's what Elazer goes for. Bottom right hatch is likely to be cancelled. What Clem's doing now, though, is getting these Widow Mines in a really great pre-split. And he gets 2 of them with the Banelings. One of them fires on 1 Baneling as well. But I mean, that's also a few Banelings used up. Now, Bolt and Banes have to come forward. That Widow Mine shot was a lot better, and the next few have been great. And that gives Clem a chance to keep on pushing forward with Marines here for a little while. He still has the drop out to the left-hand side, at least the 2 medevacs. There are Marines beneath them. They're just waiting for an opportunity to move forward again as Clem continues to push down the right. Again, Elazer not spending that money. He's going to spend it on a hive and a lurker den. The issue is the lava. There's only so much lava really available right now. That is the biggest issue of all, as these Marines and the medevacs get pushed back. This Widow Mine is actually going to go off into the center of everything. Elazer didn't clean it up in time. And Clem will maintain a pretty sizable supply advantage as he pushes with next round of Widow Mines. The Banelings aren't even ready to go yet. That's obviously problematic, as the Widow Mines will just unburrow and reburrow against Pure Ling. Yeah, and now the problem is, before the problem was you didn't have Banelings ready. Now you don't have Zerglings to go with the Banelings, so the Banelings are going to be rolling in on their own. Marauders can tank, obviously, and yeah, it just becomes a fight which is much easier for Clem to take, because Clem is up on 4 bases and 82 SCVs again behind this. So the reset from Clem has been good. Widow Mines clearing out the first Banelings. Clem just continue to pull it back as those Banes try and advance forward. Hydras don't have any of the upgrades yet, so they're not as useful as they would like to be. A few Marauders continue to tank. Clem gets rid of the 1 Baneling. The Marine count is good. And with the medevac support and Hydras on their own, well, that's the new problem, isn't it? With Hydras on their own, they just melt. Feelings get in front at least to help out, but that's going to pretty much be it. There's not a lot left here from Clem. He cloaks up a Banshee to help put some damage out as well. Obviously, the next round of reinforcements are on the way. He's going to drop Widow Mines in on top of the Hydras, and he's actually going to get a Hydra here. Nice split away from the lasers. He keeps the action rolling. He is going to continue this defense for now. Clem gets here. Spore Crawler will go down. He's actually running out of medevacs, which might be a problem. Oh, sorry. There's the 2 on the left side are actually still okay. They're out of energy. He is still losing some of the medevacs. It's going to be enough in the end anyway. Clem just has so much more than Elazer does. GG, and Clem picks up first map of this best of 5 with some pretty fancy engagement. As mentioned, Lightshade does make this a little bit of a better map for Elazer. And I'm just going to say as well, we might put this one up on YouTube. I need a YouTube video for tomorrow. So if you're out there on the YouTube channel and you end up watching this, hey, thanks for tuning in. It's been a little while since I mentioned YouTube in any of the videos, so do take the chance to be reminded that you should like the video. And if you want to support further, hit that subscribe button on the YouTube channel as well. We've been a little slow on the YouTube subscribers lately, trying to pick up heat. It's been a bit of a dismal month for YouTube, a dismal 2 months for YouTube, really. Hoping it picks up a bit in December again. Thanks for watching, thanks for supporting. As always, really do appreciate it. Second map, top left-hand side, is Elazer in the blue, as the Zerg, of course. Clem in the bottom right as the red Terran. And TvZ just feels like it's hitting a whole new level of, I don't even know what exactly, right? Like, it's just hitting a whole new level, honestly. It's just amazing as of late, and I mean, you put top players like Clem in play, it just makes it extremely exciting to watch. Just the way that the style is developed, and people have realized how you have to kind of fight the economy, and you have that back and forth, but you also have a lot of different ways of getting into the mid game. Obviously, this last game was very much so decided initially. Initially, Clem gets a lot of damage done in that last game and just takes the lead off the Banshee opening, really. So that was obviously a very successful setup for Clem, and that made the rest of the game a little bit easier for him, so he didn't have to find advantages elsewhere. He just had to play out his advantages, and he really did that. He maintained a supply lead, he never let up the pressure, and he never gave Elazer much of a chance to get back into it. The one moment that Elazer looked good was when Elazer took that run-by onto the third, and he got about 10 SCVs and a whole bunch of units. That really did slow Clem down, and that maybe gave some possibility there, some potential to get back onto it. We do have the SCV of Clem out down the bottom right. reactor already on the way in the barracks. The factory is building. And SCV just going to get to mining. The Reaper actually gets a couple of kills again, as we maybe should have been watching this. Two Zerglings go down, apologies. So yeah, a couple of Lings going down. That's obviously manageable for Elazer. It just sucks a little bit. And Clem's going to go for a third CC. My goodness, it feels like it's been an eternity since I've seen a third CC opener in TvZ. We've seen so many non-3CC openers. We'll see exactly what Clem wants to open with off the 3 command centers. Might go for the Clem special. Just Hellion Liberator into fast stem. That's one of the ones he likes to use the most. Good way of just harassing, creating some opportunities on the map. And obviously just generally putting you into a good position anyway. Bring it down. Queen's unable to really do much there, and Reaper moves around the left-hand side. Just going to stay active. Tech Lab on the barracks is about to finish up, so let's see. Clem doesn't really have the gas to do a lot. He could go just Viking into stem. Or he could just wait for the gas as well. He did finish a second gas just recently. Anyways, just looking at the numbers, he's actually going to build a Tech Lab on the starport as well. Wow, okay. That is a second Tech Lab, right? Yeah, it is. So actually, starport was already out on the Tech Lab, so we had a swap of Rue happen while we're actually watching to see if the Hellions do anything, but he's just going to go for a Banshee. I want to say without Cloak, so it's just that safety Banshee. I guess this is actually a pretty regular build. It's just been a while. So you build the single Banshee that gives you that safety when you go in 3CC, and then you can just go stim pretty soon after. Okay, so it makes a lot of sense, really. It's just took me a moment to figure it out. It is Light Shade, which is a good Zerg map, but with a shorter rush distance. So if Elazer switched it up and went into like a roach attack here, that's where this Banshee might be very useful while going 3CC. Great Zerg map for the expansion pattern, being able to expand one way or the other, really having that choice, and it being very difficult for the Terran to make rotations to different sides of the map to punish those expansions. So Elazer's going to go for the early Carapace upgrade again. It's interesting because the early Carapace really is usually a counter 2-1-1 play, not really an anti-Hellion play. So I find that interesting. As Hellions threatened to just run into the natural expansion, that would have been pretty terrifying, of course. Coming up to the top, Queen's going to push that around. A Banshee sets up on the right side here from Clem, and the Overlord hanging around over on that high ground as well. Our second Engineering Bay finishes up. And so 1-1 upgrade's going to start, and yeah, obviously we never really got to see a benefit of the Carapace upgrade last time from Elazer. I mean, I guess it means you do have Carapace for when the Marines do arrive. I mean, it still is a Marine follow-up. It's just, like I say, it's not like it's super quick Marines or anything. As the Crypt goes down, we've got a Banshee going straight in on top of that hatchery. So the hatch taking quite a bit of damage, a couple of drones moving over. And then you just have the Spore trying to figure out where to land or where to burrow up at the same time. These Hellions have stayed active. And of course, Clem continues to hunt for any opportunity he can to get drones. And he gets 3 of them. And he forces the Evo Chamber as well, so that's a bit of lost mining. All of these Hellions at Clem continue back home, so he's just going to pull them back, make it safe, and you can see this tank setup already coming through. So Clem's going to get a bit of a tank push rolling with the 1-1 this time. I imagine the tanks are going to move across the map. Now, typically you aim to cancel a 4th, but look at what Elazer already sets up. He takes a 4th, and he takes a second 4th. I'm not going to call this a 5th base, because it's just a straight-up double expand. So yeah, it's kind of a 4th and a 5th, but really, they're both 4th bases, and he will just give up whichever one Clem hits first. Unless he really believes he can take a good fight. So it just gives him a bit of freedom there. And the Hellions do pick up a couple of Zerglings already, so as this push starts up the left-hand side, that's the initial... I mean, these are the typical 4 bases to take at first, so no surprises about that. Clem already saw this hatchery being taken too, so that's where he wants to push to. A Banshee defensively will deflect the Lings for the moment. I mean, that's a wall-off, so there's just no entry point for the Lings anyway. And he says, I'd rather have these Lings back on this side, help me out with this defense. And here they are, running in on top of the siege tanks right away. I'm just going to try and focus fire down BANELINGS with those tanks initially. Bane speed a few seconds out, and also a few seconds out from 1-1. So actually the Carapace upgrade came into play and will have helped to protect these Lings that little bit more than usual. Lings back around the left side. A couple creep tumors get picked off. A bit more Ling Bane having to think about how to jump in on this group of Marines. Medivacs will load those up, and going to be seeing a Banshee of Clem continue to patrol out down the bottom side of the map. The other Marines just going to unload back on the other side of these rocks. The rocks will, well, Marines will unload. A couple changes get picked off already. That's a scan to get rid of some creep tumors, and an Overlord already in trouble. A couple of Banes maybe in trouble as well. Start to take a little bit of damage. Two upgrades on the way from Elazer, 2 upgrades on the way from Clem. And these Marines just unloading to get some pressure going. We see a few of these Lings just going to go straight down. So Lings picked off immediately. A few Banes on the right side, and we'll see what they can get up to as we continue forward. Overlord goes down. The creep team is still dropping. The Lings are going to come running in at this as well. And the Marines are likely just going to have to lift and get out of there. So Elazer defending. These Banes have just gone for a mass burrow. That's actually really interesting. He's just going to try and catch like a ton of armies sitting on that position, defending the 4th base. I think it could work. I mean, he set it up so far in advance. He's really playing for the long game there. Does not cancel that hatchery. So that's a kill, and Clem going to keep Elazer on 4 base for the moment. Is this a... Yeah, I mean, that is a moment where you use those Banelings, apparently. Now they're going to pop up, and he actually does make a fight out of this. He's just going to let the Lings do the work, as the Banes will just roll forward. I mean, it was a bit of an interesting way of this going down. The drop is in the top side base as well. We'll look there in a moment. Let's see what these Lings continue to do, as Clem's also pushing the left-hand side. Okay, up here the drone's burrowed, and Clem never realized it, so he didn't get a scan off. On the left-hand side, he's pushing in. Elazer runs through the Banelings, and he will start to get a cleanup. No splash damage in this army is a big part of the problem, as Clem is cleaned up in the main base as well. And he will now land the 4th base. He gets the 4th base down, but some good aggression from Elazer as Clem tries to figure out what else to do. Love that Clem is on his way to more siege tanks. That's going to help a lot against the lurkers. You need those siege tanks, because what they do is they stop the lurkers pushing into you. If you're just going to play Widow Mines, you can basically never lose a fight, because the moment you lose a fight with Widow Mines, the lurkers just come across the map and they push into a position, and you can't stop that from happening. Tanks can hold positions, even against the lurkers, so that's nice to see. That's definitely the safer way to play this out, as Clem is still trying to keep the multitasking up over on the left-hand side, while pushing up through the center. At the same time, Lings are going to go to the right side, going to go jumping in this. The Planetary Fortress is going to finish soon, as Marines clean out a few extra Lings, and the Bio Army is going to lift up, pull away a little bit. Those tanks got cleaned out, and Clem continues all the way out down the bottom of the map. So where do we settle down at? Well, Elazer's already on his way to Vipers. Seismic Spine's coming through, and we're going to get ourselves a Lurker versus Clem game. So, I mean, Lurker versus Clem. Lurker versus Bio. Clem pretty much always plays Bio. He does play Mech a bit on this map, actually, lately. But, yes. Clem against Lurkers is going to be a fun one to see how it plays out. We see the Carapace upgrade is on the way up from Elazer in the natural, with the missile upgrade as well. Lings, Hydras, and Banelings are along the upper right-hand side. Bit of Bio already unloading, and we do have these Banes going to start rolling in on this. Just going to have the Bio lifting up already. And the Medivacs continue down the right. A bit more healing being done. Lurkers continuing to build up here. Ghost Academy is about to complete from Clem. And the Ghosts obviously the next step of this too. Like, yes, the tanks hold off the Lurkers initially, but the Ghosts also help to get snipes in on Lurkers as they try to burrow. Can also give you that ability to be a bit more aggressive as well. And the fight starts over here. Adaptive Talent's just not quite ready yet. Clem looked like he wanted to scan and fight those Lurkers, but then was maybe missing the scan. Absolutely, right? He was 100% ready to fight that, and then probably went to scan and realized he didn't have one. I love this tank that's just in amongst this kind of depot wall. Really just put some good damage out while the Bio gets here. It will unfortunately go down. Our hero is slain. As Clem fighting up here as well. Banes are going to move through. A couple blinding clouds made it more difficult to attack into that position. As Clem continues to lose out on the bottom side. Now he's got a drop bottom left. You'll find just a couple drones there. Maybe the hatchery is the bigger steal. Keep Elazer back down on 5 bases while he sits on 4 himself, trying to take 5 top rights. Elazer's going to try and take base number 6 to the right side instead. Well, I don't know how well you can hold that. That's so close to Clem's base. I feel like that's really just not possible. Tanks sieging up though, and well, Clem is going to get blinding clouded, so them tanks will not do anything. They're going to get cleaned up almost immediately. I mean, I guess they take the attention of the Ling Bane for a while. Second blinding cloud is great as well, and Clem is just not trading well. Elazer's getting fantastic fights again and again, and this time he's going to get in for some extra SCVs. I feel like 13 is a criminally low amount for what he just got in up to there, but it brings Clem down to below 60, so it does put that hit in. And now Lings are going to hit the bottom side, and Clem just does not have the units at the moment to really fight against that. So 17 SCVs now dead. The depots will go down here, so it opens up the way for future attacks, and all of this allows Elazer to actually hold this hatchery as well, which I was skeptical about, but for the moment Elazer proves me wrong, and we'll hold on to that hatch while keeping the pressure up. Down on this bottom side, Ling Hydra going to run forward here. Ling's getting on top of the siege tank, kicks that down, and the Hydra's continuing to fight. A couple of Marines going down already. There's going to be another tank shot to clean up that Hydralisk. Lurkers are still here and still pushing out damage. Tank shots continue to come on through. As the Lurkers of Elazer and burrow, they re-burrow. All of that continuing. A bit of bio moves forward here. Going to get rid of a couple Lurkers. The rest of the Ling Lurker will go darting down the bottom side. Going to jump in on a whole bunch of SCVs over here. And it's going to be seeing SCVs trying to rotate down. They get picked up. I mean, it's getting messy because tanks are firing and picking up a bunch of stuff too. But overall, Clem's supply is just not going to survive this onslaught attack. And that's going to be GG. Elazer ties us up 1-1. And we have got ourselves a series on our hands. Game number 3 coming up soon. Game number 3, guys. Thanks for giving me a couple of minutes to rest up the voice there. And watching the ad, supporting the stream as well, of course. A gas pool to follow a hatchery first here. We joined about a minute in. They were very quick at setting up the lobby. I'm not going to lie. These guys are some... they did some speedy hosting, to say the least. To get ourselves settled down for game 3 of this one. A command center from Clem will come down soon. It's just a Reaper opening, so everything looking pretty regular for the moment. And we go into the next little step of this with the SCV scout. So... obviously, Lightshade is the Zerg map, so both players have kind of won their own map pick so far. That's the big kind of piece of information to take note of here, right? The map picks have gone the way of the players who chose them, so that's actually pretty good news overall. If you want like a good fun series out of this, that's absolutely like a a good direction to take this in, to be looking at. And then winning each other's map picks, and now we get tied up 1-1. Pillars of Gold, so that should come back to kind of the Terran map pick, and it leaves Death Aura and Romanticide as games 4 and 5, unless there was a very weird veto. I'd be very surprised if Jagannatha / Submarine wasn't vetoed, that they weren't already picked as map 1/2. So we're assuming that those are the vetoes, and then that leaves us Death Aura and Romanticide. Probably Romanticide 4th and Death Aura 5th. Pillars is an interesting one. Some players just like this map more than others. This is not really a typically bad map or good map for either race. It's got benefits and negatives to both, and it really is just more of a preference thing and how you like to play. And Clem has typically always just adopted this map and said, okay, fine, let's do this. This is okay. This is a really fun opening, huh? What is this coming out to be? As the Reaper, by the way, just survived across the map. What the hell is this actually, right? Like, 2nd racks and a 3rd CC. This is a real mix-up. So he's going to be very low on Hellion count because it's extremely... what he's doing is extremely mineral intensive. He builds 1 Hellion, now he gets a 2nd as he starts up the add-on. So he's basically going to show us a little bit of what he showed us earlier, like this double racks with the factory initially. So it's kind of 2-1-1-esque, but there's no way you can afford to stop with this anytime soon. So it's going to be a lot of Marines, Hellions, and then the 3rd CC along with it. So you've got a really good economy. I guess we'll see here fairly shortly as to how exactly it's going to play out. Yeah, this is the fun thing about TvZ. We've just seen so many different ways of setting this up lately. We've seen so many different ways to get to 3 CCs. We've seen so many different ways to kind of go from that kind of point onward. It's been very, very interesting to watch out for as we do see Flex Marines continue to pop out. Hellions still coming through, and down the bottom side, Clem trying to be aggressive with these couple of Hellions. There's a couple of Hellions around the bottom side. We do have our starport about to complete from Clem. Yeah, it's actually really similar to what we saw earlier, I suppose. When I say earlier, I refer to the Denver series Clem played earlier on today. And then you start up the armory and you make Hellbats with this attack too. Yeah, did he have a third command center when he did this earlier? That's what I actually really wonder about. I almost feel like I maybe just missed that or ignored it because I was excited about everything else. The third CC is what got me a bit perplexed here, but maybe it's actually exactly what he did earlier on. He adds on an extra rack, so the third will move out, and the next step should just be engineering base. It's the one thing missing for him at the moment. Elazer goes Carapace upgrade. That will not be ready for this first push. And the Baneling Nest at least will be, though. Remember, there will be Hellbats with this, so it's very important as a Elazer that you cut drones at the right time. At the moment, he's going up to, what, 61 workers? Starts a lair? See, I feel what he's doing at the moment is Clem actually waits for 2-3 more Marines. What Elazer is doing just feels extremely greedy. I feel like this is going to cost him a lot. I don't know if you can really defend this right now. The Banelings start to morph in. I feel like you almost need like a Spine Crawler or something to help out with this. Obviously, the Queen count is good. And he's starting to make a few extra lings as well with this, but 35 to 80 in army supplies we tack in. We morph a whole bunch of extra Banes. The problem is those Banes aren't ready for a little while, so if these first Banes go down, there's a realistic chance that Clem just comes in and denies the other Banes. Okay, he's actually going to not deny the other Banes. He's going to just step away, though, because there's nothing for the Marines to pay attention to. So they just targets down Banes, and... Okay, Elazer holds on. What's the resources lost like? It is in Clem's favor. And he will now be rewarded with getting rid of a bit of creep spread in front of the third. This position here, this push down here on top of the third base is one that we see frequently on this map, so... It's definitely scary that Elazer now will have delayed creep there. That definitely opens up opportunity, I would imagine, for Clem a little bit further down the line with this. So that's definitely something to watch out for. Stemming through, Queen taking a bit of damage, chases it, gets the kill. Gets the creep jammer, and that's going to be a lift up from the medevac to save those Marines, and Clem going to start this multi-pronged aggression now. As we do have the rest of this army around the left side. We do have this hatch, which is going to take some damage already. A couple of Widow Mines starting to burrow up, and yeah, the hatch on the left side should go down, and it's going to be a cancel. The drone gets picked off as well, and another Widow Mine going to burrow as the Marines continue forward. Overseer just finished up, but yeah, good pressure so far. Bane speed still not done, but he actually stepped into the Banelings there, and the Overseer going to eat the Widow Mine shot 1 and 2. So Widow Mines will not do anything to the Ling Bane count. Bottom side of the map, this drop gets picked up, and we're just going to be seeing Clem just try and put a bit of pressure into the main base. But honestly, pretty good defense from Elazer all around, and that's going to really help him to hold on. Obviously, now we're also seeing the effects of that +1 carapace being in play, and this Marine-heavy aggression is just kind of take a bit of damage because of that. What's up? Moves up the left-hand side. Gonna be seeing drilling claws on the way through from Clem here. Gonna see our tank is building up on the factory, and full drones on the bottom side getting picked away out. Widowmine gonna unburrow Reaper. He's actually gonna chase for these drones. Actually saves the mine. He doesn't have drilling claws, so it was never going to be a fast burrow. He's on the way to drilling claws, though. We might see more of this Widowmine style as I feel like lifting the command center there actually hurt the SCVs more than anything, because I don't know if it really freed them to get away, and it actually just gave the Banes easier access to the ones that were running around the right side. Anyway, that base does land. It's only 4 SCVs lost. We do have Clem going to bring a Liberator initially, at least around the left, so Liberator goes out to the left. A few Marines still in the medevac on the top, and a couple more medevacs continue to fly over the far left-hand side. A lot of Ling Bane of Elazer in at the center here. And again, our Lib going to go for the siege up into the main in just a few moments. There's a couple spores here, though, but should be able to fly past and siege up still, and then the spores will have to start relocating. And of course, this is something that Clem is always very good at, the Liberator harass. Usually we talk about it early in the game, this time a little bit later on. Marines and Widow Mines unloading. This hatchery in some trouble, taking some damage already as Lings clean out the rocks. And oh no, now Lings are going to run in. Nice, beautiful split from Elazer. Necessary split as well. And actually, these Widow Mines do feel like they're not really quite getting the connections they need to. A little bit in counterattack, going to find its way towards this mineral line. There's a tank in range, going to have to go through the depot first as well. And Clem's sword coming in, and now these Banelings aren't going to do much else. Blowing up the command center. I mean, not blowing it up, but putting some damage onto it, and that's about it. Marines unload once more, and a couple of drones already going down there. On the bottom side, well, Clem was not really paying attention, so he ate a couple of Banes, but mostly on a Marauder. And then the Widow Mine kind of did some dirty damage to him as well. There's a Elazer sweeps in once more. Clem has just got units everywhere, and I'm kind of impressed that it's so deep in the game, and he still is everywhere. I mean, that's what happens when there's no Spire, there's no Mutalisks, and you know, the first real tech choice here from Elazer is Hydras, but even then it's late Hydralisks, so you're not even shutting down any of these Medivacs early on. Mines burrow up. That's a connection in as a lot of Lings get blown up. Another Widow Mine connects too. Marines lift back up, and we do have in the bottom right hand side the hatch taking a bit more damage. This Hydra doesn't quite go down. It's about surviving, putting some more damage out there. The Medivac of Clem goes out down the bottom side with the Widow Mines inside of it. And Hydra gets some damage there. We do see a few drones went down elsewhere. Over here, the Widow Mine drop does get in for 8, but that's actually pretty well handled from Elazer. That could have been a lot more than 8. Sometimes you see every drone on the mineral line will die to that, so he has one left, and Elazer responds to that well too. And a Spore Crawler trick to make sure he doesn't lose the drone. I mean, that's just a little bit of cute play to be added on to the end of this. I gotta say, Elazer's playing pretty fantastic. Really, honestly, I mean, for Clem to put so much pressure on Elazer to keep it all tied together and to not let any of it slip away, he got a really awesome game number 3 ahead of us still. Because Elazer sits on a very, well, I say very comfortable 98 drones, may even be on the side of excessive, and that might come back to bite him in a little bit, but of course for now it does mean he's building up a big bank, so he's going to get a lot of money starting to come through here. Medivac moves down the right-hand side. The other Medivac, a few units inside of it, and the push of Clem will come down for the bottom right corner base. So this hatch is going to immediately be in some trouble. The Widow Mine will take a step forward and burrows up. Hatchery goes down. Keep Broodlings cleaned out. The drones continue to drop, and we do have ourselves a Ling Bane force from Elazer. Going to come through. Cryptima goes down. Another Widow Mine burrows up. Bane's still coming around here as the tank gets sieged. More of these Lings going down. Oh my god, the Overseer actually dragged the Widow Mine shot onto the Marines. So that's where that damage came from, is obviously Clem has switched from mines into tanks. He's killed drones, another Widow Mine drop. We'll check in on it in a second, but it is 10 drones dead. As we move forward again, there's a Baneling that he actually kind of saw, but he was focused on the Lurkers, so he actually ate that connection. When he could have just attack moved, but he moved commanded on top of it. And Elazer actually found the hit. Yeah, I'm not sure where the Widow Mine drop was, but it gets 10 drones while all of this is happening in the bottom right-hand corner, so that's a good play. Now we've got on the left-hand side another push setting up from Clem. Elazer is holding 5 bases. He's going to try and sneak this base top left. If he can actually get this up in mine, that's great, but it's so easily denied from Clem if he just knew about it. Clem also getting to his own 5 bases, and that's why Elazer does need base number 6. He needs to break out from what is a... He either needs to deny a base of Clem, which is setting up right now, or he needs to really kind of break out. And with the Lurkers out and starting to get all their upgrades, obviously now is the best time to start doing that. As Adaptive Talents will be done within the minute, we'll have those Lurkers being a lot more mobile, and that really does go a long way too, as that's going to be a nice target fire onto the Hydra, or nice, not sure if it was target fire or what exactly, but it does get a Hydra kill that Widow Mine, and a little bit of splash. His top side is going to be, well... Baneling busted soon, so that's where Elazer finds an opportunity. Both players on 90 workers as Elazer started 15 more, so he's just gone up to 105 drones. Means his army supply is low. I love the parasitic bombs, mind you, and they're going to go off on Medivacs and Libs. The Libs especially, though, means that they can't really dodge away, and he's actually just going to lose a medevac as that Liberator sat in range. The medevac obviously could have dodged away, but it did not. Now maybe just an abduct on these libs, drag them into the Spore Crawler. Not happening just yet. The Bane Burst happened on the top side. 20 SCVs plus the Planetary. Remember, of course, that there is, of course, new command centers that can really take that position. I am surprised. I mean, he Parasite bombs again. I'm surprised not to just see the abduct, because I think the Spore would have done a good job there. And it obviously costs a little bit less energy as well. Abduct 75, Parasite bomb 125. So maybe that could have been abducts to get rid of the libs. But of course, there is other splash damage and so on going on. If SCVs get back over here, there is going to be Banelings waiting for that transfer. So we saw Elazer set that up. Did Clem? He's likely to be looking elsewhere when that happened. That could be a problem. We've got Lings around the top left, and what's most important is the fact that Elazer is just having this base, and Clem does not know about it. The fact he doesn't know, he's kind of thinking he's fighting 5 bases, but he's actually fighting 6. Lurkers taking a lot of hits, and actually I don't know if this army can really keep on fighting here. Queens and Hydras mostly, because the Lurkers are out of range. Surprised they didn't jump up and move forward a bit. A Lurker being aggressive though, and that's going to force Clem to move around as well. Scan comes in, cleans this out. Now the bio gonna have to kind of rotate away, and we kind of just have Lurkers everywhere though from Elazer. He's had so many of these. He's only got 7 left on the map. He's lost a lot recently. 12 have gone down in the game. Even the medevacs are low HP though. This is interesting. Lings and Lurkers are kind of avoiding the kind of the Liberator zones, but then you're going to get some snipes from the Ghosts. They're going to help a lot, as a Lurker here is going to deny SCV mining too. That's actually the best part of this so far, as the Lurkers burrow up and do good damage. The SCV mining denial has been really significant, and now Clem just dubs through. He does not pay attention. The Lurkers pick up multiple kills. Now believes he can actually jump forward on this and get maybe through a few tanks, but the Liberator is there to help deflect it. The Lurkers burrowed up and continue to do a lot of damage across the board right now. I guess the Lurker to the right side. These couple Lurkers coming through. Factory taking hits. Clem has got tanks out in the center, as a couple of these Lurkers are going to get cleaned up. The bio army of Clem continues to join together, and another Lurker of Elazer just making its way around this top side. Widowmine connection goes off, and the Lurker takes a hit as well. And one more Lurker of Elazer continue to come on through. It's cleaned out also. Clem will go down the bottom right-hand side. This is, well, I mean, this is kind of crazy because Clem does not have a lot. I mean, his economy is still 76 SCVs, don't get me wrong. The top left base is such a huge scout, and Clem just now sees it. This is his first time realizing this base is here. It's actually a big moment, because now it maybe means Clem can deny that, but is it too late? His army supply is below that of the Zerg. Typically, you're meant to be ahead, and that's why the Zerg is punished for being on a higher worker count, but that's not happening. Parasite bomb goes down, trying to keep picking away at the medevacs. There's a few ghost snipes that are doing very well. The Lurkers not all moving forward. This time they do cancel the snipes a couple times over, and the Lurkers will continue to chase through. I mean, obviously the medevacs can lift up here eventually to get away, as the Lurkers do scare this off finally. Now a tank over here is going to scan, and a couple Lings. Hey, they could have got on top of that tank, and they will get on top of the tank. Maybe could have already saved that Lurker anyway. Tank goes down, and the top left remains to be an issue that Clem needs to assess, handle, and deal with. I mean, if you don't get rid of it... Yeah, I mean, this is where Les has gotten a lot of his extra money from, while not being able to get to 6 bases. Resources lost about a 7k difference. That's fine. Oh, what? These drones just walked to the bottom right. Elazer not paying attention there. He is going to get up here. This is big, because just as he might lose the top left base, he's going to get rid of a base of Clem, and that really is huge. These Lurkers are... Oh, if they burrow, the SCVs were actually going to line up perfectly for them. But Elazer's elsewhere, because he's realizing there's other attacks going on. These Lurkers trying to do what they can to hold. And he's also got a bit of pressure up here. There's Lurkers there holding too as he continues to attack. Clem is continuing to lose bases. There's Elazer's trying to hold on to whatever he can. If he loses the top left, he's also losing the bottom. Elazer's really not going to have much left at all, but neither is Clem at this rate. I mean, also importantly, he's losing production over here. 46 SCVs currently sat on a planetary fortress, and that is it. That's the only mining that Clem has. As Elazer's only mining is going to be, what, this left side base that's already mining out? So both players are getting into trouble, but Elazer has so much money to spend still. Is he actually just lava stuff because he's missing hatcheries? He is. So he can't actually spend all of his money yet, but when he does, that's going to be absolutely massive. Snipe comes down, as we do have the Lings are just going to run through for these SCVs. I actually would have just liked a larger overall fight. I guess there's not really much from Elazer until he gets some more lurkers built here, though. And maybe that's the problem. He feels the necessity to get rid of this base already. Well, 9 more lurkers produced and a couple of drones dropping down somewhere on the map over here. Widowmine catches some long-distance miners. Elazer is re-expanding here. I feel like you need to just go here. Yeah, he's going to set a base up there as well, but just go here and here or something. I feel like you need both these bases. Clem had command centers to relocate, and that's going to become Elazer's problem. Clem is going to settle down on 70 proper SCVs of mining, and that's why Elazer goes forward. Now he knows he must make something happen. Ling's on the top side actually going to get through, and they're actually going to win that fight. A lot of SCVs going down. He forces a lift on one of the bases. His Lings now pull away. He's going to go Planetary Fortress in the top left. The lurkers are not done yet, and Lings catch another siege tank. This is the problem. You've only got a few ghosts, and they are the only things that can really slow these lurkers down. And as the first snipe coming through, lurkers still just kind of leapfrogging forward, getting in on top of this army. I mean, again, Elazer feels like he needs to do this right here, right now, and maybe he does. The lurker's starting to get some damage done. Extra Lings showing up to protect the lurkers a little while. 4 lurkers left. Still 4 lurkers left because the scan ran out. I mean, there's going to be a lack of orbitals and scans at this point as well. I think there's one of them in the sky and then 2 others remaining, but the lurkers getting on top of the Planetary Fortress. Ling's still streaming in to try and keep the lurkers alive as long as possible. Snipes are coming down. 2 lurkers remain top left side, and 2 marauders and a ghost come in to try and clean it out. I mean, there was still an extractor here, apparently. As the lurker sits and deals damage to the planetary, maybe you just go for SCVs or even army. Obviously, Elazer is looking elsewhere as he has been rebuilt, and he's still got so much gas, by the way. If you can just get minerals, which is what these bases are going to be huge for. Don't forget, Clem drops down to 50 SCVs during this fight. No way. Is that lurker get away? Forces one more scan. Everything helps as Clem looks to reestablish here. And hey, that scan? That extra scan actually delays this base, because by scanning this lurker a second time, he now can't scan the Zergling. So this base can't land, and it actually is a good play to save a bit more economy. He's going to send something forward here to try and friendly fight. No, he's just going to wait for the scan. Wow. He should have landed this CC and scanned, really. Okay, what a ridiculous game. 22 minutes deep. Here on Pillars of Gold, there's the scan. Finally, you land. 2 more Liberators on the way out from Clem. Liberator is actually a cool idea right now, because that's definitely something which is good against holding off the Liberator, is just running in on top of you, and that has been the problem. As a Elazer, 81 drones are real. I'm worried that Clem's obviously got no pressure bottom right-hand side. These 2 bases getting up, this base back online. These are all things which are very, very scary for Clem to deal with, but he has to keep this army here, because the moment he moves away from the top left-hand corner, Elazer's just going to get rid of his bases. So Elazer's kind of winning it out because he's got mining outside of these. So they both mine the top left and bottom right. But Elazer still has mining here, still has some mining here, and that just makes the extra little bit of advantage in terms of what's being mined at the moment. His lurker's going to get rid of that tank. And these are very aggressive lurkers. They'll get rid of a ghost here, and maybe on the high ground they'll get rid of one more, but it pulls units out of position so these lurkers can make the dive, and we've seen how valuable that's been. He's going to deny this base. The Ling's catching some of the SCVs, and the lurker fire connects on them. 40 workers or less now for Clem. Those lurkers need to kind of come forward and all fight together, and Ghosts again cancel. Their snipes are not able to connect. There's still a couple lining up some shots, but Clem just lost a lot right now, and he dips below 100 supply. Elazer still has money to work with. It looks like Elazer might get up 2-1 in this series. Lurkers still firing up, and I mean, the few ghosts that are out are doing what they can. These lurkers are going to go to the top left, and there's no way to defend those SCVs. Your best option is to basically back away from this. Oh no, Clem is disconnecting here. He just got some harassment bottom right, by the way. A couple of Liberators setting up, and that's
Game.
as the pause comes down. A couple of Liberators setting up are actually starting to get some serious damage done. They've killed 11 drones already, so he is putting a hit onto Elazer's economy. As we are going to see if Clem's internet has resumed effectiveness.
Game resumed.
Lurkers just borrowed up over here. These SCVs are going to continue to go down. I mean, honestly, these lips, I mean, Elazer making a massive mistake by running these drones back into range. And just one Hydra takes a long time. This Liberator dies. I mean, 23 drones. If he wasn't already losing so many of these SCVs, that might have just been a game-winning move. If he'd done that just like 2 minutes earlier, when Elazer has been still focusing on the top, and it's difficult for him to squeeze those Liberators out, though, right? That was a decision he had to make. Ling's going to run in now, and I just don't think Clem really has enough on this top side as Elazer continues to push on through. He's going to see the tank, so he'll just back away, and he'll just go and maybe... Well, it looks like he's going to try and fight this planetary. I don't know if that's necessary. Oh, yeah, the 9 question mark GG. Amazing. GG's, and Clem taps out to give Elazer. Finally, going to jump into game number 4 because Clem took a few minutes here to refresh and reset. In the top left-hand side, our blue Zerg player from Argo Esports, it is Elazer. And he is in the lead of this semi-final, taking on the red Terran in the lower right-hand corner. Give it up if you're cheering on Clem. Hey, what's up, Synapti? Thank you so much for the $10 donation. No message attached. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Thank you very much indeed. All right, so game number 4, and we set ourselves up on Romanticide. What we're thinking, guys? Definitely one where these rocks can be pretty important early. Sometimes a marine opener to kind of protect those, stop the Zerg from taking them down into like a tank follow-up could be really good in this scenario. Should run the guy in the cat chat co-casting invitational. Where the players only advance based on basically the player gets randomized if people like the co-caster or if they don't like the co-caster. And it doesn't matter how the player does, whether they win or lose the game, it depends on whether the chat likes the co-caster or not who advances. Yeah, that's an amazing game. Maybe we're moving out to the top side. We're picking away at a couple of lings here at the moment, so a bit of damage being done, and we do have our ling speed is starting now from Elazer, so maybe it comes through and does pretty well, and if we're just gonna get pushed away. So in the end, I mean, you get yourself a ling. I mean, honestly, you've seen the Reaper do better than that at points in this matchup today, so it's not the craziest of losses. Coming forward, Reaper is out of the front. We do see the couple of lings just looking to come through, and the Reaper going to be again keeping the pressure up as this third hatch gets settled down. Armory on the way from Clem. So he's just going to get very aggressive here this time around. Obviously, the Marine count is a pretty big tell to this. As the medevac's going to pop, and we're going to get aggressive here. Now, Elazer needs to figure this out. Otherwise, he's going to be in some trouble. He does not currently have a setup to really defend against this at all. Spine Crawler is kind of the additional extra that's kind of necessary now. This Bane Nest, I don't believe, is in time to defend against this. So, yeah, this is going to be a little bit rough. You're going to get Banes kind of on the way a little bit late on in this one. Marine's coming forward. Hellion's going to jump on this. The grenade might go down to bop these queens back is what I was thinking. He's actually going to surround the queens. Oh my goodness, Elazer just going to lose 2 queens right off the bat. That's brutal. Now we're going to see a Hellbats and Marines moving over the left side. Hatchery here taking a few shots already. So Hatch already taking a few shots. The Hellbats going to turn back around onto the queens. Elazer, can you find a defense from this? I mean, catching the 2 queens at the start is just so good for this. It's a Banshee follow-up from Clem. He just comes through, and he is at the moment just killing so much. Finally, the Banes can start to morph, but man, how much are you going to lose before the Banes are here? It's already been, I mean, so far only 2 units lost. 1 Hellbat, 1 SCV. He's killed 18 Lings. He's actually going to find himself 2 of the morphing Banelings. The next one at least does connect. He's going to kill the 3rd Hatchery. Elazer was not prepared for this in the slightest. Like I say, that Bane Nest was not going to be on time, and those are some better Baneling connections that actually will help. Hey, don't tell me you don't get the Hatchery here, fam. Right, I felt like the whole point of this was you're about to kill the Hatchery, and that was going to be amazing. But now he's going to go and fight Queens again. Banshee's going to show up. Maybe you just... I guess the Banshee is a guaranteed cleanup on the Hatchery in the end as well, right? So, actually makes sense to just come through. And Elazer, preparation for the Banshee, absolutely nil. He doesn't have anything, so Elazer wins a very hard-fought game on Pillars of Gold, and Clem hits with the Hellbat attack and catches Elazer unprepared, not ready to fight, and as queen after queen goes down, this obviously becomes a worse and worse scenario as GG is called and Clem ties it up to take us to a game number 5. It's aggressive and you're not really ready for it, and that's obviously not going to be pretty. Top left-hand side, our blue Zerg player was up 2-1, but has now been evened out. It is Elazer in the upper left-hand corner. Up against the red Terran in the bottom right corner of the map, we do have from Team Liquid, it is Clem. Game 5 of the series as we get this one up and running. Let me see where we're going to go to. I really want to know what exactly Clem's plan is going to be. Deathor is like I say, it's a bit of a tricky map if it goes long, and it definitely is one where Elazer could have a lot of success again, like we saw on Pillars of Gold. Everyone disappointed that Elazer doesn't leave the game with a bunch of question marks, yeah? Yeah, I guess so. Well, Elazer is obviously kind of trying to give us a ZVT final today. Hero Marine is apparently sitting in the final waiting for whoever wins this out. I just double-checked, and apparently that's what we're currently set waiting on. As the Overlord of Elazer continues out down the bottom, you have the SCV from Clem is going to walk on underneath, going to see that Ovi. And just going to be continuing out across to the upper left-hand side. So an SCV to scout here early. And just make sure that it is not a pool first or anything that the Reaper should stay at home for. Just confirming that this is in fact a perfectly okay way to get going. So this is a hatch first, nothing else to see just yet, and we will follow the Reaper across instead. The Reaper's been, like I say, pretty successful against Elazer. It's pretty much always picked up a unit in these early stages. Watch it now and not get a single kill. It's almost like the caster curse of Reapers. It's like if you watch the Reaper, nothing happens. If you don't watch the Reaper, everything happens. Let's see, grenade goes down, starts to damage the Lings. Obviously, you got a bit of time here before Queens are out. Reaper... good micro so far, and he is not gonna get a Ling. I told you, caster cursed it. Grenade goes down, Ling gets bopped, the Queen taking some damage as well. We do just have the Queen continuing out through the front here. We do have the orbital command setting up, and a 3rd CC back at home as well. So Clem just gonna 1 gas 3 CC open. So you will not be too shied away from kind of setting this one up into kind of that longer, later game. He's going to go for the 2nd Rax now on the follow-up. So this is what was weird to me before. Before he went... There was that Pillars game. He went Rax Factory, 2nd Rax, 3rd CC. This time he goes 3rd CC, then extra Rax. And that's the way I would have more so imagine something like this to look for, or look like. So, yeah. You see what I mean, guys? They look away from the Reaper for 1 second to check the build as he loses the Reaper. And the freaking Ling died. The moment we look away, the Reaper becomes God mode. The second we lock onto it, the Reaper becomes, like, the most lame unit ever. Ay, ay, ay. Typical. Freaking typical. Starport's on the way from Clem in the main base. We do have our stim is already building up here from him as well. So again, that stim rolling. We have got the single Ling of the laser out through the bottom side. Well, Hellions are going to do pretty well on that already. So that's going to be about halfway done here from Elazer. We do have our creep Jimmers spreading out. A couple of extractors dropping down in the natural, and again, creep going in a few different directions. A couple of Hellions going to sit out in the center for the moment. You see all of our drones continue to build up here. Extra barracks building from Clem already, and just going to be seeing our factory starting a reactor. So getting that ready to go. As we do have our Hellions of Clem still rotating around, trying to figure out where they want to be. Third reactor is establishing, and we do see the orbital here from Clem setting up as well. Now there's the armory. So this is very similar to what we saw again back on Pillars. This kind of, well, it's really not. Sorry, it really is not. Holy crap. It's 15 Marines and 2 Hellions. Wardy is tired, guys. Apparently, Wardy's just being crappy at casting. It's gonna be, it's gonna be into just the Widow Mine drop. So the follow-up here is to really just Widow Mine drop and to try and get damage done, as the first Marines actually are very successful picking off a hatchery. Elazer is going into a Spire, so he's already setting up for that as these fuelings come in. 1, 2 Banelings already picked off here. Queen goes down. Another Bane picked away at. More Lings going down. The Queens continue to transfuse each other up. That's another Queen picked off. Another Baneling going down. Marines continue forward with this, and we do see the Queen still taking some extra damage. One Queen going down there. Continue to move forward. We're going to see the Lings keep on dropping, and Clem's going to run in for this. He's going to get himself more Queens. I mean, this has been an amazing setup from Clem. How much damage done? That much damage. 27 Lings, 5 Banes, 5 Queens, an Overlord and a drone for a Reaper and 10 Marines. 2k to 600 resources lost. And Clem, best Marines of the game, do fantastic. Now, Elazer is about to have mutas, and Elazer can turn this around. If he defends the Widow Mine drops well and jump on a couple of these medevacs and force those to be kind of ineffective trades, then you can absolutely find some value in this. So, let's see what happens here. Do you see how he ends up through the top side? Marines come up, gonna see a creep tumor 2 getting picked away at, and a scan can come down to get rid of a little bit more as well. Out on the left hand side, Banelings do crash in, and a bunch of Marines getting picked away at. Drones, though, are dropping, and that's obviously not the defense I was talking about against these mines. Clem's starting to make this look very, very good for him at the moment. Here come the mutas at least, so what can they do? Well, honestly, right now, not a lot. A few SCVs go down. It definitely catches Clem a bit off guard as these next couple of Widow Mines are going to burrow up. Mutas coming in and just going to be seeing the turret going down. Mutas continue to move around. Widow Mines blow up, and that's a little bit extra damage done. Mutas jumping onto the reactors here. And just continue to deal the damage. I mean, okay, so the meta's not being dealt with very well right away, but now they're starting to go down. Now you've killed a few of them as well. And the game will just settle down into a huge Clem advantage. I mean, 1-1 already done. On his way to 2-2 now, just about to start that off. Elazer lost so much this game. I mean, the first Marines obviously did fantastic, and then the follow-up Widow Mine drop was just super deadly. And here comes the first push that Elazer just might not be able to find an answer to. It's going to show up. I mean, the rock's obviously in the way already. Here's coming from the right-hand side. Bio will make a push forward. Didn't even stop to kill off the rocks. He just goes for it. I mean, that's like a I'm going to come and kill you play, because usually you obviously want to clean out the rocks so your reinforcements arrive a bit more quickly. Clem's like, nah. They don't need reinforcements, right? Just going to win it with this. Well, that may not quite be true, as the BANELINGS get some decent connections. The Mutas are going to turn around to try and jump on this to maybe get enough done. Things coming through. The Mutas getting picked away at. A lot of Mutas in some trouble here. The Thor gets taken down. The other Mutas getting some damage as well. The extra Bane showing up, and the Medevac's going to escape down the right side. Bit more army out over on the right. Mutas are going to jump in onto these Medevac's. Going to get a couple. So the cleanup is there in the end from Elazer. But you know what isn't here? Any sort of defense on this topside base. Drones go running to a corner. They're like, get us out of here. They're trying to start burrowing up so you can at least force a scan for the drone kills. Oh my god, the Lings just all died to Widow Mines. Yeah, okay, well that's kind of brutal. So, not only did all the drones in this base die, but all the Lings that tried to save the drones died as well. And you finally clean it out, but again, momentum. Completely on the side of Clem. 2-2 about to be done, and, you know, to add on to all of this, now you're going to be fighting down on upgrades as Elazer, so every fight from here on out is going to be that much less effective for the next 2 minutes. Well, again, I don't really need to spell that one out for you guys. You're smart enough to know what it means yourselves. Looks like we might get ourselves a Clem Hero Marine final, but it went to, I mean, this went to 5 games. Elazer put up a great fight, just a couple times really didn't have what he needed in the early stages of the game to really make this work out. So trying to push up that right-hand side. The couple of Widow Mines here. Actually well dealt with this time around from Elazer. I mean, now he's getting to be a lot more on point, but I mean, too little too late. You needed this defense early. It's almost like right now he's like, crap, I must play amazing to win this, and so he does start to, but again, there's only so much you can do when Clem's still coming at you with 2-2 bio. And you just don't have a way to deal with it. The Marauders are tanking shots from BANELINGS. The Marines then clean up drones. And, well, I mean, you probably clean up this army, sure. But again, the reinforcements keep on arriving. I mean, do you clean this up? 2-2 versus 1-1? With the Mutas, you probably do, but at a huge expense. You're even going to lift up, and the Mutas aren't even going to clean up just yet. Now reinforcements arrive, and actually you really don't clean this up. Mutas are taking Widow Mine hits, and this is still just Lings, really, plus the few Mutalisks. Oh my goodness, I mean, these couple of Marines getting healed up, so the Mutas have actually stopped winning these fights. Some splash damage finally working their way through this. Elazer will type out GG, that will be that. And Clem is going to take game number 5 of this series. He's going to win it out, and he's going to go the distance.